Good day, my fellow crafty ones. Bonjour, mes frères. So, I was checking out my YouTube analytics and I noticed that 2 videos jumped. Of course, I get a little bit of views, not that much. But it was an abnormal jump. And both of the videos are something with Gregory Woolley on them. You see? So, right off the bat, I know something's going on. People are interested in this. All of a sudden, they're searching for it. Come to my surprise, man. I could not believe it. Look at this. Le chef de gang, Gregory Woolley, assassiné, tué par balle. He was killed by a bullet. Damn. Now, I think it's bad news. I will never celebrate someone's death. Someone as evil as this man was, never. So that's bad news. I'm not happy about this. It makes me extremely sad. Then on the other side, I think about it and I say, well, he did the exact same thing to other people. Numerous other people himself, without a doubt. That's not even a question. He did it himself. But also, he ordered other people. And anyways, I'm not happy about this. It makes me extremely sad. Let's see what's going on. I didn't read the news. Just fresh for me, man. Hey, hello, crafty one. Crazy, man. But my condolences if he has any children or family members who loved him. My condolences. This is not something to celebrate. My message on my channel is there should be no reason to kill people or to make money doing that. This evil deed, it should end. It should end. People should find a way to cooperate with each other, become friendly. So let's get into it, my dear crafty ones. I'll translate for you. As I said, I don't read them in advance. Literally, I just found out. The only reason I found out, for those who are joining, is I saw 2 of my videos suddenly pop. More people are watching them, and I knew no. Last time this happened, it was René Charlebois. So let's get into it. So, le chef de gang, Gregory Woolley, assassinated by bullets. Friday morning. This morning. He's gone, bro. Crazy. So, the mob boss died of his injuries, according to our information. Remember, this is Daniel Renault. These are Eric Thibault and all them, That's his crew. This is not a nobody giving us this news. He was taken down while he was on his SUV. Which SUV they're saying? A Lamborghini. Need I remind you, he came out of prison in 2014, 2015? No, he went to jail at that time. I think he left in 2017. Maybe a bit later than that. Don't quote me on this. And he was in a transitional home, and he was under surveillance. And ever since, we've only heard about him one time, when we saw a picture of him on his motorcycle, and he was going to a Hells Angels' hangout or a meeting or something like that. Not a meeting, not church, but I mean, those hangouts where they all hang out together? And I showed you the picture like last year and a half ago. And ever since, he's been quiet. Hasn't been popping up on the news. Bogdan, how's it going, my bro? What's up, Bogdan? Crazy, huh? So I'm going to translate, see what's going on. So what we know so far is he was killed on board of a Lamborghini. So tell yourself, he was so quiet. You wouldn't hear about him in the news anymore. He was trying to keep a low profile. Or was he driving a Lamborghini, man? I never understand you guys flashing like that. The smartest gangster would be in a Toyota, going to church, pretending, man. But you guys almost ask for the cops to come shake you down. But where was he killed, they say? Near a CLSC. This is a healthcare establishment, okay? It's not a hospital. It's like a secondary healthcare establishment. But it says it's in Vallée des Forts. Oh, that's the name of the CLSC. For those who know the area, which I don't, it was on Boulevard du Séminaire Nord, à Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. We do know he had bought a home, if I think my memory was good. Remember I showed you guys a picture of his large home, and there was woods behind his house. It was a picture of him and his wife, and he was dressed in a suit and all that. That was, of course, right before he went to jail, I think, or was that a little bit after? But you could see age. This guy should be in his mid-50s or approaching 60s, right? So, man, what a way to go. Let's see what's going on. The investigation qui avait qui avait été initié. So the police had initiated an investigation, apparently, Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. It says it's transferred now to the divisions of major crimes of the SQ. So SQ is like our I like to say it like this for our American friends. It's like our FBI, because not a lot of people in Ontario either will know this. The Sûreté du Québec, it's like our own FBI, if you will. Okay, so now a vehicle, look at this. This is the hallmark. A vehicle was on fire. It was found at approximately 11:30. Need I remind you, his death, they said, did he mention what hour? No, they don't. Remember, this article's published at 11:18. So he must have died like literally a few seconds or a few minutes before this. That's how fast Daniel Renault got it. And by 11:30, oh no, sorry about that. He says they found, yeah, that's it. At 11:30, they found the vehicle burning. So good chance that it was around that time, like maybe 11-ish. And where was it found? For people who don't know, on street Sebastopol and Favard, in the sectors of Pointe Saint-Charles in the southwest. Interesting. So you see, it's a strange, eerie coincidence. Those who don't know, Gregory Woolley, back then, he was charged with his friends of taking over that turf. That turf was the heart and soul of the rock machine in Montreal. They had actually, I showed you this if you didn't see the video. Remember the video it talked about, what's it called, man? The one with the funeral. The name's not coming in my head. Renaud Jonf. He became the president of the rock machine, I believe, when the leaders went to jail. And he was well liked, and he was from the area. And he got killed inside of a Chinese restaurant. That was not the only death in Pointe Saint Charles. And you can bet your bottom dollar Gregory Woolley had a hand in a lot of those things. That was his assignment. I believe, with Schtroumpf, the small guy. You remember that? Now, think about how eerie this is. His shooters almost, this is just me reading about, reading over it a little bit. This is just me adding something that's probably not related. But how eerie is it that his shooters went to park the car in Pointe Saint Charles? Could it be some old people from there finally getting the wrench? I don't know. Probably not. But it's interesting that they chose Pointe Saint Charles. So they offed him in another town. Remember that. It's not even close. It's Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. This is not another neighborhood. It's another town. Then they drove there. Bogdan says they killed him in his car. Yes, they killed him in his car. He died in his Lamborghini. He says, il se trouvait près de son. Well, now he says he was found near his SUV. So either he was getting off of the car, or perhaps he was about to go enter his car. One or the other. They say his body was found near his SUV. I'm going to mention this. It's a Lamborghini. Let's keep going. So what do we have so far? Lamborghini. You're an idiot for that. Sorry, may you rest in peace. You're driving Lamborghini all around town. You're begging. You're a perfect target. You pissed off so many people. So many people must have wanted you, and they were bidding for their time, perhaps. I don't know. And then they killed him, and they dropped the car in the southwest. Is this symbolic? I don't know. That would be crazy if it actually was on purpose. But look what he say. Il n'est pas exclu que cette découverte puisse avoir un lien avec le... Yeah, so right now they're saying, look, there was a car burning in Pointe Saint Charles. We're not sure if it's linked with Gregory Woolley. Well, what do you guys think? The residence of Gregory Woolley in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu, was the target of a Molotov in August of 2022. Could it be linked to that? Were it the same enemies? Obviously, guys, I highly doubt the Hells Angels had anything to do with that. Based on his history and all that, very unlikely. They knew about his whereabouts, well ambushed. But yes, man, probably you are right. And he made it easy. Lambo, you're driving in a Lambo. But in May, they say, so remember, guys, last August, not this one, the one of last year, his home in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu was target of Molotov cocktails. They were sending him a message. We had covered that. Now it says this May of 2023, gunshots were fired into the... Or I'm not sure if saying I don't think it's 2023, or is it? Was it 2023, 2022? I'm not sure which one he's referring to. But they also shot at his home. They shot at his neighbor's home, and the investigators of Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu suspected that they had mistaken the home. Exactly. They weren't going to shoot a random bystander's home, to send a message. The criminals here still have a kind of a heart, They don't try to involve the wrong people and all that. So what was going on? Clearly, if someone wanted to kill Woolley last year, clearly they would have done so. They sent him a message twice. I remind you guys, the Hells Angels, Bardella had the exact same scenario happen to him. In a suburb, shooting, and they hit the neighbor's home. Remember that? What are the... doesn't mean that they're both linked, but I just want to put it out there. That's what you do when you send someone a message. Did Gregory not heed the message? Is that it? Who knows what's really going on? Let's read. A major actor since his liberation in 2020. So, okay. Remember, he went in 2014 in jail for working with Leonardo Rizzuto and Solecito and all them. And we heard the tapes, remember? But the tapes were thrown out. And Leonardo got his money back. They kept the cane, of course. And Woolley, I'm not sure what happened with him, but since he was arrested in 2014, note, he was let out in 2020. So I'm assuming they found stuff to charge him with. And they kept him for about 3 to 4 years. And since his liberation in 2020, they say, the 51-year-old, very close to the Hells Angels, was considered by the police as being a close, yes, of course, to the Sicilians in the Montreal Mafia. In October 2018, there you go, he pled guilty to chief accusations of gangsterism, trafficking stupefiers, and yes, that's the operation Mago Mastiff. Before his arrest in Mago Mastiff, Gregory Woolley was considered by the police as one of the leaders of the alliance between the mob, the bikers, and the street gangs. Remember, I kept telling you about a takeover. Who do you think was responsible for taking over? It wasn't Hells Angels, I could tell you that. It had to be him, logically. Who do you think pioneered this alliance by offing those who did not want to join? Perhaps it was him. The chances are very likely it was him. Sal Scopa was smarter. He was driving a Corolla that was bulletproof. See, that's a smart man right there. Unfortunately, he did something else that was stupid. He didn't realize that maybe you should not go work at a gym, where you park your car and then you walk out of your car and you walk towards the gym. That's been the demise of many of them when we read the news. So he didn't think about that. He should have built his home gym. Yeah. All right, let's keep going. So, look, they saying that between 2012 and 2015, he took a lot more place. Yes, we know that. Look what it says here. It says he was originally, look at that. He was notably at the origin of the, how do you call this? The fusion of the Reds and Blues. He doesn't say Reds and Blues. I'm adding that, but I'm sure of it. If this is a fact that there's a fusion of gangs, it was that. Homme de confiance. So, a man of confidence of Vito Rizzuto. He had equally profited during this period to become closer to Stefano Solecito, who the police considered as the boss of the Montreal Mafia, the Sicilian side, guys. 2015. Andrea, there you go. Yeah, true. That was buzzer at the gym. Andrea. We're talking about Sal. I'm talking about Andrea. Andrea, exactly. You're talking about Sal earlier. Sal Scopa was smarter. Okay, the other brother. I always forget he has a brother there too. The other one's gone. He got killed in a hotel. Yeah, exactly. Who do you think had something to do with it? Killing Sal Scopa inside of a hotel. Think about that. Gregory Woolley's name of one of the planners. The guy who went, we know that one of the attempts on Scopa's life was the other fellow. I forgot his name. At episode 1 of Street Gang Syndicates. I forgot his name. Silva. There you go. We have pictures of Silva meeting Gregory Woolley like his little lapdog and waiting for his next assignment. And you see Woolley checking his phone. It's almost like he was reporting to his teacher. And his teacher was... You know what I mean? It would look like he was bringing in his homework. If you look at the picture, you can read the body language. It looked pretty damn exactly what I'm telling you. Figure it. I know it's not. There's no homework. It's not school, but you know what I'm saying. Someone was sending him off. Now, why am I saying that? Silva. There's a picture of him from the CCTV cameras, and he probably admitted to it, so we know for a fact. He attempted to kill, either it was Andrea or Sal Scopa, or he managed, but one of them, for sure, he was responsible for an attempt. There's the footage. There's an actual footage of him. I didn't see the footage. I saw pictures of the footage, though. So, you see what I'm trying to say here? That was obviously commanded by his boss, Gregory Woolley. Let's keep going. Quote, Il surveille... Okay, someone is saying this. Look what Solicito says. He's watching my back, and I watch his, said Solicito. In the subject of Gregory Woolley, in a conversation recorded by investigators where they tapped the bureau of the lawyer, Loris Cavaliere, in Mago Mastiff. According to our information, the Sicilian clan had given Woolley a part of their profits for illegal sports betting. There you have it. So they actually gifted him that. Et du prêt de la mafia. Okay, so sports betting and gambling and loan sharking. So they gifted him part of the book, they say. In exchange for what, I ask you guys? In exchange for what do you think? Yeah, there you have it. Thanks, man. My memory is not good, but I think sometimes I'm able to remember stuff like that. Exactly. It was in a parking spot, something like that. I saw the picture. It was outside. That's all I remember. And I think Silva was holding the weapon in both of his hands, if I'm not mistaken. He was standing up and trying to shoot him. But I don't think he managed to kill him that time, right? I think it was botched, right? Something like that. I don't think that's the time. Yeah, that's it. Because Sal, obviously, he survived, right? So it happened in a hotel later on. So who do you think were sending those attempts, guys? I just probably named them both. I probably named them both. It's no secret. It's all in the news, right? I don't have any insider information, Sorry to disappoint anyone. I really don't. I just read the newspaper. It's already there. But let's keep going. So Woolley received a part of their... Interesting, isn't it? How many times could you hear that in crime history, Except New York, in the New York, maybe the 50s and 60s that happened. How many times can you hear a black man was receiving profits from a Italian mob racket? And then you got to ask yourself, why would they even gift that to someone? Isn't an Italian mafia a secret club among themselves? You know what I'm saying? How much did they need Gregory Woolley that they were willing to give him a cut of the gambling business? Apparently, if this our journalist is right, think about that. So what was Gregory Woolley doing? You can bet he was doing their dirty stuff, dirty jobs. And then we have the proof. We have some sort of visual proof. I keep showing you cars burning and things like that, and they bust kids. They bust black kids. Think about it. They bust black kids from the inner city and things like that. Let's keep going. Lors de sa dernière incarcération, during his last incarceration, Woolley was equally accused to having plotted with, yes, we saw footage of him meeting Mambouche, no surprise there, but they were plotting the murder of Reynald Desjardins. So isn't it Woolley in every type of murder? Every kind. It's hard to feel sorry for the guy leaving this planet. Le meurtre de Gregory Woolley is a, so let's see what the cops say, I guess. The murder of Gregory Woolley is a major symbol. We just have eliminated the right-hand man of the organization who had access to his services, right? It's a turning point in the future of Montreal organized crime. Absolutely 100%. This is a historical moment. Not something to celebrate. Woolley était un individu très puissant. Woolley was an individual who was very powerful, qui avait accès à beaucoup de gens. He had access to a lot of people, and who was very respected by certain criminal organizations. He was, I believe, he says, in the list of 10 individuals, the most important in the history of I'm adding history, but in the landscape of organized crime in Montreal. Confided to us under anonymity, an observer who knows the Montreal underworld very, very well. I remind you, Daniel Renault is friends with Éric Thibault, who filmed himself hanging out or taped him conversations with Andrew Scopa. Or was it Sal? Andrew Scopa, Andrea, right? So they're they're like three buddies who work together. So can you trust his source? You can probably trust. All right, that's just a summary of the same stuff. But he's the notable thing here is that he's the only black to have ever climbed the ranks of the hierarchy of the Quebec bikers. Crazy. Let me just double check if we can get in. Here you have it. There you go. Done at 51. All the peoples that he helped to off, it came back to off him. He didn't get too crazy. Oh, here you go. We have another one here. Is it the same one? An extra picture? The chief of gang, Gregory Woolley, offed by bullet. And here's the scene, guys. As you can see. You see car doors open? So that's the Lamborghini, guys. I don't even recognize them, dude. You could tell I'm a poor guy. I can't even I just know one kind of Lamborghini. The Murcielago or something like that. It's the only one. He has an alliance with the Sicilian crafty. All the dirty work he was the man. There you have it, man. There you have it. And unfortunately, I don't celebrate any of this, guys. But that's one less evil person. And, unfortunately, it's one less evil person. Some of the worst, There you have it. Yeah, that's got to be it, man. And you go, they secured the crime scene. The doors open. So does not... Either he got... No, look. You could see one of the holes in the window. So either he was in it and he got offed there, or he got offed leaving it, or offed getting into the car. It's got to be one or the other. Interesting enough, you don't see any splatters, right? I'm afraid of using the word. But do you see any markings of red around? If he was standing in front of it, surely there should be some sort of splat, no? So was he offed inside and then fell out? And now they covered him, so wherever he fell is where the red was, and it's covered, so you can't see it. Which one is it? I don't know. Okay, yeah, is that the same one? I just want to double check. Yeah. So they just added that extra picture for us. I want to double check. These are all the crime stuff. I just want to see if we got anything linked quickly. So they had another suspect accused of... No, this has nothing to do with us. Look at that. 2 criminal fires. Is that it? Double check there. See where we're going here. Hochelaga Maisonneuve. No, I think this looks like a regular fire. They still don't know the cause. What do we have? Okay, so someone sent a white powder to the police. Well, they don't know more than that. Trying to see, guys, if we can find any links. Because, sometimes maybe... Remember, guys, when we check the news... I read to you the news of... Well, I didn't read the news. I talked about it before. Remember the Red Blood members? The episode with the risotto. One of my favorites that I put there. You remember I told you guys there was a gangster in I forgot his name. Lamartine Sévère-Paul. Remember, who do you think had a part to do in his death, That according to police, according to journalists, according to sources, according to your logic. Remember, Lamartine Sévère-Paul, it's a... When one dies, usually they kill someone next to him who's just as strong or his right-hand man. Why I'm telling you this is because I keep talking about Big Chénier. Remember Big Chénier? I keep drilling that in your heads. When Big Chénier got killed, Lamartine Sévère-Paul got killed a few hours before or a few hours later. That's no coincidence. I believe someone was waiting for him in his garage or sneaked in his garage or something like that, but for sure he got killed in his own home. Lamartine Sévère-Paul in Laval, and only a few hours. So ask yourself, is there a chance Gregory Woolley got offed with someone else a few hours before? Could that car that was burning be from another victim? I don't know. That's what I'm kind of trying to find here, guys. It didn't even give me... I'm trying to load more. This website is the weirdest, guys. Like, I want to go older than this, because they're not that old, right? Okay, I guess it doesn't give me anything. Let's go to... Journal de Montréal. Let's see what they say. If we can extract some more information here. And again, I'd like to go older than that so we can make some links. Oh, there you go. First front page, of course. Let's see what Eric Thibault says, man. Here we have it. We got something good to watch. And, oh yeah, well, while I click, please hit the like
Félix
button.
Séguin est avec nous pour nous en dire davantage sur ce Gregory Woolley. Félix, on parle de l'une des figures les plus importantes du crime organisé à Montréal.
Les plus importantes, les plus puissantes également. Gregory Woolley est né à Port-au-Prince. Il a immigré il y a plusieurs dizaines d'années au Canada et dans son adolescence, il a été lié de très près à plusieurs gangs de rue. Et il est devenu un peu, oui, le parrain des gangs de rue parce qu'il était l'un des membres de ce qu'on appelait le groupe Syndicate. Le Syndicate.
Okay, so he's basically saying that he arrived in, I think he's, okay, guys, don't quote me on this, I think he said he arrived at 15 years old in Canada. Forgive me, I'm going to rewind this because it's just too important not to...
Nous en dire davantage sur ce Gregory Woolley. Félix, on parle de l'une des figures les plus importantes du crime organisé à Montréal.
Les plus importantes, les plus puissantes également. Gregory Woolley est né à Port-au-Prince. Il a immigré il y a plusieurs dizaines d'années au Canada et dans son adolescence, il a été...
Never mind, they didn't say what year he came. They didn't. He just said a couple of decades ago. That's not enough. But now he's about to say in his adolescence, remember this. In his adolescence, he was linked to street gangs.
Lié de très près à plusieurs gangs de rue. Et il est devenu un peu, oui, le parrain des gangs de rue parce qu'il était l'un des membres de ce qu'on appelait le groupe Syndicate.
And he became, through time, the godfather of the street gangs. He was the symbol. He was the face. And one of the first, powerful street gangs, well, no, not one of the first, not fair to say that. The one who became the most prominent, okay? The most prominent for being the underlings of the Hells Angels, they were called the Syndicate. Now, what do you think? Why do you think, wink, wink, I've been calling my episodes Street Gang Syndicates? I just added the S. But the name was Syndicate.
Syndicate était en fait une alliance de plusieurs gangs de rue dont il était l'un des co-chefs. Alors, ça lui a donné beaucoup de pouvoir, à tel point que Gregory Woolley, à la fin des années 90, est le seul Afro-Américain qui a été admis parmi les rangs des clubs-écoles des Hells Angels. Il était membre...
So he's saying that he was so powerful that by the end of the 90s, he was the only black man ever in Canadian history to be admitted into the ranks of the hierarchy of the Quebec Bikers, or really the Hells Angels.
Des très, très menaçants Rockers, un club d'école fondé par Maurice Mom Boucher.
So he joined the puppet gang or underling motorcycle club, the Rockers, which was founded by none other than Maurice Mom Boucher.
Lui-même, qui abattait plusieurs basses besognes pour le groupe. Gregory Woolley était aussi extrêmement connu des tribunaux. Il a fait face, dans sa longue carrière criminelle, à plusieurs chefs d'accusation, complot pour meurtre, trafic. La liste est extrêmement longue. Au cours des dernières années...
Nothing new that's going to surprise you. He says that, of course, throughout his life, he got accused with so many crimes that it'll be too much to name.
Devrait-on même dire, au début des années 2000, mais plus récemment, il était devenu extrêmement près de Leonardo Rizzuto.
So and it comes to, it says, in his trajectory, so before it was street gangs, and at the latest, he was more being linked with the mafia in the news.
Leonardo Rizzuto, le dernier fils vivant du défunt parrain Vito Rizzuto, parrain le plus puissant au Canada, qui lui-même a été visé par balle en mars dernier. Maintenant que tout ça est dit, depuis la tentative d'assassinat ratée sur Leonardo Rizzuto en mars dernier, les policiers sont en attente d'un changement de garde au sein du crime organisé.
So since the since the attempted assassination of Leonardo Rizzuto, the police investigators, and now they see Gregory Woolley, they're expecting some major changes in the leadership structures of this organized crime in Montreal. No duh.
On ne cherche pas nécessairement un nouveau parrain, on ne cherche pas nécessairement un nouveau chef, mais on cherche qui s'occupera de nouvelles alliances et qui sera la plus forte de ces alliances-là. Gregory Woolley, de tous les gens qui étaient extrêmement affaiblis dans la vieille garde du crime organisé, était vu comme étant la personne peut-être la plus apte à gouverner, entre guillemets, certaines alliances criminelles de monde.
So he basically comes down to, they're saying the underworld has always worked with one leader, or not one major figure that brings all these syndicates together, the street gangs, the bikers, that brings them all together to work sort of like in harmony, to cooperate with each other. And obviously, well, Vito Rizzuto is gone, and all that stuff. We have like the only face that really came to light, that the chances are, if anyone was going to be able to now, like, you have to see, everyone else is like got picked off, died, and all that, and even the Montreal Mafia. And the only person that's like the same old face that's still there, that has enough influence to communicate with all these groups and be respected and be listened to, it was him. So he could have become even greater than he was today, in other words.
Montréal.
Fort intéressant. On aura l'occasion d'en reparler plus tard dans ce bulletin. Merci beaucoup, Félix.
Au revoir.
Crazy. Bogdan, I'm not sure I follow, I think I got disconnected in the conversation. So, I find that very intriguing what you could imply, because he says, so he has an alliance with the Sicilian crafty, all the dirty work, he was the man. Then he says, the French old guy, that's all I'm going to say. Okay, I believe he's talking about Ray Desjardins, apparently. Yeah, 21C, what's up, buddy? Crazy, huh? So that's the famous picture I talked to you about. So he came out of jail. We practically never heard about him in the news, except truly, that's my mistake. I forgot to mention that. Remember, last year we talked about someone threw, was it a fire? Tried to start a fire at his house in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Remember, we talked about a shooting. Well, didn't hit anyone, but it hit the neighbors. So truly, yes. But is that really him? Is that really him doing something and he goes in the news? No. It was people targeting him. It's not really his fault, right? When I say we don't see him coming in the news, I meant you weren't seeing him being arrested by the police for having been like part of something. Of course he was. But he was like almost sort of laying low, However, not really the case. You see him driving in that. I was expecting when he said Lamborghini, I thought they were talking about the big Lamborghinis with the suicide doors. So no, not really. He was inside of that. That Lamborghini doesn't look too flashy. It's not as flashy as I thought. But here's a picture, one of the few we had, of him being in public, taken by a reporter. What are they saying? Killed in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. And look at this. So he says the Godfather had received warnings by his enemies in the last few months, it says. The one who was considered the most important leaders of the organized crime in Montreal must have been on his guards since a year and a half. Remember, they threw the Molotov, I believe. They shot at his neighbors. They didn't want to shoot his neighbors. They're not that evil. They're evil, but they're not that evil. They have some empathy for innocent people. You got to appreciate that. What's right is right. We're going to give them a shout out for that. Now, in May of 2022, his neighbors got shot in Rue des Trembles in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. No surprise. And they heard detonation near his house. And then, a few weeks after that detonation, another resident had found bullet casings on the ground next to the influential house. Next to the house of the influential gangster. The police at that time had affirmed that the house touched was hit by mistake. That Lambo, it's $350,000. Yeah, I'm not surprised, man. When I say flashy, I meant, you know what I'm talking about, the sports car, with the like from far, that car to me, like from the far in that picture, if you didn't tell me it was a Lambo, I wouldn't even know, bro. I don't know cars that well, but if I saw, the classic Lambo with the suicide doors, I'm talking about, the yellow, the blue, the sports car, that one, you could see it from a mile away. That's what I meant. It's still a Lambo. It's still expensive. Exactly. The police avait affirmé. Yeah, so the police confirmed that he was hit by accident. Isn't it funny? Look at the irony. Look at his motorcycle. What are these? Funny, no? Bullet. Isn't this supposed to be like a bullet damage painted on his motorcycle? And isn't that a grave right there in the front? I'm seeing a grave here. Funny, no? Now he's in his grave. Now he actually is. You played with death. You handed it to other people. And they got tired of it. They got sick of it. Okay. And it was rather the house of Woolley that was the head figure of organized crime in Montreal that was realistically aimed by these two incidents. Let's keep going. Since August of 2022. On August 2022. a criminal fire had been started in the garage of his luxury home. His girlfriend, who's also, by the way, I think she's a reality TV star, or she was. She was a participant in the infamous show Loft Story, which was a big hit in Quebec. So Friday morning, however, it was way more than just a simple warning. Woolley, who was linked very closely to the Montreal Mafia as well as the Hells Angels. This is the home I was talking to you about. So the fire must have been here. They must have took the picture on that day. You can see the garage doors open. This is where Gregory lived. We know he sold the house. We know this. He sold the house. I don't know if he had money problems or whatnot, but obviously he fixed that, right? He was driving a Lambo, which our friend says was worth $350,000. Il était notamment connu pour avoir fondé, so he was known to have founded the syndicates at the end of 1980. And it was became an underling for the Hells Angels. But more directly, it was Montboucher. And some would describe him as the godfather of the street gangs. And here you have a picture. That's his reality TV girlfriend. She could have picked anyone else, guys. But all the good guys, not good enough. It had to be Gregory Woolley. Nothing else would satisfy. Well, she got him, and she got the retirement plan. Now he's gone. You know that it won't last more than 2-3 months. Someone else is going to date her. She's going to move on. Let's keep going. And then he had joined the Rockers, it says. Okay, we know all this. We talked about it. Oh, here you go. The police considered him. Did he change the portrait of organized crime? Look, his partner, his wife, her, I guess, had given birth to their second child a couple of days ago. Wow. So second child, poor kid. He didn't deserve that. He came into this world. He didn't even meet his daddy. But how many other children didn't meet their daddy ever again? He never came back home because of him. See what they say here. This is the picture I was talking to you about. Look at him. He's checking his cell phone, and behind him was Silva. He's verifying the homework. Here he is meeting his underlings inside of restaurants, perhaps plotting the next moves. They're saying that he was not the main target when they made that arrest, because, they were arresting them. They were going against the mafia. Giving a sentence of 5 years. Truthfully, he did serve almost most of it, right? Because this arrest was in winter of 2014. Was it? Right, 2014. And we know he was given conditional liberation, according to the article we had just read, in 2020. So Canada didn't really apply in his case. He actually did the full thing. Crazy. All right. Let's see if we can find was someone else assassinated? We're going to find out in the next few hours, guys. Chances are, if we look at history, he won't be the only one. Oh, look. Is there a new one or is it the same? Did we see this?
Je vous rappelle cette nouvelle. Ça s'est
Vient d'arriver sur place, Raymond. Vous voyez en ce moment
ce matin dans le stationnement d'un centre commercial de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Il s'agit du caïd Gregory Woolley.
So he was in front of a commercial shopping center, guys, in the parking lot, I believe.
Et Elisabeth, ça s'est passé donc en plein jour et au moment où il y avait beaucoup d'achalandage dans le secteur.
So it happened in the middle of the day, obviously, and in front of a lot of people where it was really busy. So they had to be desperate. They had to pick their chance, and that was it. Let's be real here. No one wants to really do something like this in a shopping center. But I want to remind you guys of something else. Pay attention to this. I like to make some links. Who that according to our research, was offed because of Gregory Woolley, and I keep bringing that up, was Big Chenier. Remember that? Remember, where did Big Chenier die? Didn't he not die in a parking lot of a shopping center? Didn't he go exactly like this? Exactly, zero difference, my friend. Next to his car or in his car, the same way that you see right here. Isn't that funny? Either they didn't have a choice and they had to get him there, probably that's the case, or they were even more, or they were really cunning, they were really professional, and this is me stretching it, they wanted to off him the exact same way, if it was. Imagine that. Just imagine.
Absolument. C'est dans le stationnement d'un petit centre commercial ici à Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. D'ailleurs, mon collègue Kevin Crane s'est entretenu avec au moins 2 témoins de la scène là, qui ont vu une partie de la scène. Je vous les ferai entendre dans quelques instants. On vient d'arriver sur place. Raymond, vous voyez en ce moment là, des images en direct donc, de cet endroit où Gregory Woolley, 51 ans, a été atteint là, d'au moins un projectile d'arme à feu.
Don't worry. For those who are Anglos who have no idea, you didn't miss a beat. Every word she said, it's basically going to be, he got off there right here in front of his car. Nothing extra, don't worry.
Ce que l'on sait à cette heure-ci, Raymond, là, c'est que c'est vers 10h35 que cette...
There you go. Now we have a correction. Remember earlier we talked about what hour this could have been? The burning car in Point St. Charles was 11:30. Everything's checking out. That car they found in Point St. Charles, 11:30. Note Point St. Charles, the neighborhood where he and his team, especially he, had some murders going on. They were in charge of taking over that place, so they were assassinating the rivals. Note the car burned over there. What an eerie coincidence. Note the second eerie coincidence. One of the most powerful people that he had probably had people off in order to create that syndicate, you know, because the Bloods didn't want to join him. They told him to go F himself. They were tired of his bullshit. Guess what? The leader, got off exactly in a parking lot. Like this, in a shopping center. You see these two coincidences? How crazy. It's either the universe, either it's a message. Crazy, no? Still? And wait, yeah, this is why I interrupted this. They say that, so they found the burning car at 11:30. Now they're saying that he was offed at approximately 10:30. This checks out because there are two different towns. Point St. Charles is in Montreal. Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu is somewhere totally different. As I told you, it's not a neighborhood in Montreal. It's another city. So we have a 1 hour difference. I don't know where Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu is on the map. My apologies. But everything seems to be checking out. I bet you it's like an hour or so, right? So there you have it. He got killed at 10:30. 11:30, they found the burning car in another city. Checks out so far.
Produit tout juste à côté du VUS, luxueux VUS Lamborghini blanc de Gregory Woolley. On voit d'ailleurs là, sur la portière arrière au moins une trace là, de projectile et c'est tout juste à côté.
We see a trace of a projectile, she says.
Côté du véhicule, donc, qu'il a été tué un peu plus tôt. Au départ, évidemment, vous voyez que c'est la police de Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu qui est sur place, mais l'enquête a depuis été transférée à la Sûreté du Québec. Pourquoi?
So nothing else, what you're hearing, don't worry, you're not missing out. She's just giving the details that, look, the investigation, well, the police found him. So now they're transferring the investigation to Quebec's version of the FBI, the SQ, Sûreté du Québec. That's what she says.
C'est en raison des liens, bien sûr, entre Gregory Woolley et le crime organisé. Alors, ce sont les crimes contre la personne de la Sûreté du Québec qui vont être en charge de l'enquête, faire la lumière.
So it's going to be the same thing. The crimes against the person division of, I guess, the Sûreté du Québec that's going to take care of this investigation, they say. Here's another angle to look carefully. I don't believe we see any other shots from this side, right? We still see that bullet hole on the window there. I bring your attention, because I'm repeating for those who just joined. There you have it. Feedback Fred. Hey, salut mon frère. So Feedback is helping, Feedback Fred is helping me out. Saint-Jean, he says, is 25 kilometers south of Montreal. 30 to 45 minutes. It checks out so beautifully, guys. Note he says south of Montreal. He's not, it's, when he says south of Montreal, he doesn't mean Montreal Island, the south. No, he means south of the city of Montreal, right? Where is Point St. Charles? It's inside Montreal, but it's the southern part. Catch my drift? Perfectly goes together. And look, another beautiful, I love it, Feedback Fred, merci. It says, the murder has been committed close to an exit of the Highway 35. That's how you want to do it. La merde est poignée. I have no idea what he... Oh, you know, now someone says, Luc, Fireball Faubert, he's like practically celebrating this evil genius who was the source of the demise of many people just for not wanting to join him. Just for saying, no, dude, we don't like you, just leave us alone. You do your thing, we'll do our thing, leave us alone. And this guy was like, if you don't join me, you die. What an end for him. Of course, I'll never celebrate the death of anyone. I think you guys should all be friends, should try to make friendships. And if you can't, leave the other guy alone, leave each other alone and get on with your life, man. Now look, his son's going to live without grow up. He had a child born a few days ago, apparently, according to this article. That child's innocent. He doesn't have a dad anymore. For the 20 people who are with us, salute my dear crafty ones. So it's checking out, right? He got off in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Our friend Feedback helped me a lot. It's in the south, not in Montreal, outside of Montreal, in the south. So the shooters did it in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. They got on Highway 35. They drove north. They entered Montreal. They had to cross a bridge, my friend. And they parked, where? In the southwest. Which is fittingly, funny enough, where Gregory Woolley caused the most damage. Where he was assigned himself, the same way he was assigning other people. You could even see the pictures of him with Silva. Almost, you can read between the lines. He was checking homework with him. It's funny, no? How the world works. It's really sad. But let's keep going. Let's see what's going on. Pour ça qu'il était au CLSC. So Feedback says that's why he was at the CLSC. Could you explain what you mean? I'm missing something. I'm missing a part of what you mean. Not celebrating the cleanup has begun. Not celebrating the cleanup has begun. I don't know what you mean. Okay, he says, I'm not celebrating, it's just the cleanup.
Sur les événements, je vous parlais de ces témoins qui ont assisté à une partie de la scène.
So there were some witnesses that assisted part of the events, they saying. I just want to note, you don't see any fire. I don't seem to see blood splats on the. You see it clean right there. Could it be he got shot in the car? I don't know. But you don't see any splatter anywhere.
Tout de suite, écoutons là, des extraits de l'entrevue réalisée par mon collègue Kevin Crane.
Moi, j'étais de l'autre côté de la rue, là, j'ai entendu les coups de feu, puis j'ai vu, dans le fond, un VUS partir en...
There you go, it says, I heard the gunshot from far, and then I saw a vehicle speed away.
En fou, là. Fait que je m'en venais ici au CLSC, là, fait que...
Quelle couleur, le VUS?
Il était noir.
A black colored car. Here you go, guys. All we need to know now is the vehicle that was burning 1 hour later, that headed north. What color was it?
J'ai eu peur, là. Je me demandais que...
Feedback. Was it Faubert? Feedback, dude, you're good, bro. I love the links. So Feedback Fred says, because I asked Feedback, because Feedback said, oh, that's why he was at the CLSC. Now I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, because the CLSC, perhaps he was going there for a visit. Perhaps he was going there. But remember, it's a parking lot, right? There was tons of other businesses there. But we're just trying to grab at straws. You never know. Was he with his wife or something? Was he with his baby? I would have think that the news reports and all that, they would have mentioned the baby. They would have mentioned the wife that was there. They would have mentioned something, huh? Or maybe they arrived too late and the mother or whoever was gone. We don't know. So far, we have no idea. So he said, yeah. So he's saying, he's making the link. He says, look, if his wife just had a baby, maybe they parked at the CLSC. They went to visit. But he seemed to be alone. We don't know yet.
Ce qui se passait, là, mais j'habite proche du collège militaire, fait que je suis comme habituée un peu d'entendre ces coups de feu-là, mais je me demandais si c'était juste des pétards ou quelque chose comme ça, là, mais là, j'ai entendu.
So there's a military base or training center somewhere around here, and she's used to hearing fireworks or stuff like that. Stuff blow up, you know? It's like, it's not a criminal activity. So she thought maybe it was that. But then she saw the car speeding.
Policiers arrivés en grand groupe, là, fait que je me suis dit que c'était pas juste des pétards. Là.
Ça rapproche, oui, c'est à Montréal, mais là, c'est rendu à Saint-Jean.
Est-ce que vous avez entendu l'opération?
You didn't miss anything. He says, yeah, that type of stuff usually happens in Montreal, but now look, it's spreading all over. That's what he said.
On vu les policiers arriver.
Ben, j'ai entendu des sirènes, oui. Mais à part de ça, j'ai rien vu d'autre
He
chose.
saw nothing.
Les ambulanciers étaient après d'essayer de repartir son cœur. C'est tout ce que...
So the ambulance, all he saw, this gentleman here, he says he saw the police on top of Gregory Woolley trying to administer him, you guys call it, I don't know, I mean, in French it's RCR. It's when you pump I don't know how you say it, guys, but you pump his, right between his chest, you pump that to push the blood into the brain until the police comes, because if blood doesn't go to the brain for too long, you'll die. There's no point, So you try to pump blood. That's what it's for, try to pump blood into his brain until the police come and they can maybe save the guy,
Est-ce que ça a été long, les manœuvres de réanimation?
C'était long, oui.
He asked him, was it long? Did they do it for a long time, these maneuvers to reanimate him? The gentleman on the left, he says yes.
Ça a été long.
It was
Ça a
long.
pris pas mal de temps.
It took a damn long time.
Alors, Raymond, des gens qui ont assisté là, aux manœuvres, aux tentatives de réanimation. On sait bien sûr que le décès de l'homme a par la suite été confirmé. Alors, on reste sur place. Il faut savoir que le ou les suspects, eux, ont pris la fuite là, tout de suite après. Donc, pour l'instant, toujours pas d'arrestation. Les policiers sont toujours aux trousses là, du ou des suspects. Je vous parlais de la Sûreté du Québec. Là, pour l'instant, pas de traces des enquêteurs de la Sûreté du Québec. On présume qu'ils sont en direction, vont arriver sous peu. Il y a une porte-parole aussi média.
She didn't add anything details to that. It's just the administrative stuff. Like, the police are going to come now and they're going to make a speech about it. It's like all that. Don't worry, you didn't miss any details.
De la SQ là, qui doit se rendre sur place. On est en attente de davantage.
So they're waiting for a spokesperson for the SQ to come make a statement. Damn, that's going to be good, bro.
D'informations, mais ce qu'on constate là, quand on parle d'un stationnement bondé, 10h35, là, que le premier coup de feu aurait retenti. Ça survient donc en plein jour dans le stationnement de ce centre commercial ici à Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. Voilà, Raymond.
On imagine l'émoi quand c'est survenu tout ça ce matin. Merci beaucoup, Elisabeth, pour ces
Absolument.
détails.
Crazy,
Au revoir.
man.
Au revoir.
This is the highlight of the year, to be honest. But didn't we have 3 major events this year? You can't joke with 2023. First, we had the attempted murder on Leonardo Rizzuto on the highway in Laval. Remember that? And then a few months later, we had Del Balzo. I was here with you guys. We reunited here, crafty ones. We had our own, I'm joking, we had our own church meeting, and we were hanging out and we said goodbye to Del Balzo. Remember that? That was what, June or something? And that hit me in the heart, Now I see Gregory Woolley, same thing. I'm not happy about this. It makes me sad to see this, And now that's 3 major players, guys. 3. 2 of them completely gone. Leonardo is still standing with Solecito. You wonder how they're going to be sleeping tonight. Huh? How are they going to sleep tonight? Who wanted Gregory Woolley offed? Surely it wasn't Solecito or Rizzuto. Surely not. And is it the same side that was sending a message to Hell's Angel Robert Bardella, who we know for a fact in Ontario, we spoke about that in the Siderno group video, he got busted running helping to run $165 million gambling ring in Ontario. And we know that he's the man with the knowledge, how this stuff is run, how to do it online, stuff like this. And we know that he has his tentacles in Montreal. And we got to ask ourselves, is there a conflict still within the mob, one side versus the other? Who was burning Bardella's home to send him a message? Because now we could see they can actually kill each other. They're definitely trying to send a message. Is that somehow, what I'm trying to say are the enemies of Bardella the enemies of Gregory Woolley? Or no, not at all. This is chickens coming home to roost after many years. Maybe another side of the street gangs who don't care about the mob. They don't care about the Hells Angels. They just care about Gregory Woolley. And it was time for them to pay him back for what he did to them, making their lives miserable. Or is it that? Or not even? It's not even that. What is it? Is it the mobs, the other side of the mob coming in and trying to take off the muscle? Because often when I've noticed that when 2 clans will clash, they will go after the muscle. They'll try to get the muscle. Remember, when the mob was having the mafia wars in the 2015, 16s, was it around that time? I wanted to talk about, what's his name again? We had Del Balzo and his underling. It was his equal. Oh, I think it was his equal. What's his name again, guys? Giordano. When Giordano came out of jail, the enemies of the Rizzuto, they had to go after him. He was a menace. They can't dismantle the Rizzuto organization without going after the muscle. What I'm trying to understand now is, did they similarly, whoever's enemies with the mob, with the Rizzuto clan, did they decide we need to get rid of his muscle? Gregory Woolley, it would be good if he's gone, I wonder. You guys, I'm just trying to throw as much as things that seem to make sense without grasping at straws too much, right? We got a lot of potential, and of course, none of this is, you could tell, I don't have any insight or knowledge. No, I'm reading the news, I'm trying to figure it out. Like my friend Feedback Fred, mon tabarnak, on le fait ensemble, mon frère. We try to figure it out, and of course, we're never happy about any of this. We'd rather people just stop this, man. Let's see. So every time I've updated, I've refreshed the screen so far. Oh, look, we get more and more. Guys, I want to note your attention. Did you guys notice if there was more than one bullet hole? The reporters are not blocked off. They can do a 360 around the car. Not near it, but you could still walk around the parking lot, right? Did you note they haven't shown us another bullet hole? They would have done it with pleasure. You can only see a single bullet hole. That means that they didn't miss any other shots. They just missed that shot, or did it go through Gregory Woolley and hit the window? I don't know how bullets work, guys. You guys are probably going to tell me, no way, man. Feedback, comment ça va, mon frère? So then, my bros, we know there's a single bullet hole there. They would have showed us other pictures. Now, here's the kicker. As I told you, every time we update this page, we get something fresh. Look at this, guys. What color? This is the vehicle that's burning in Point St. Charles. Right off the back, I recognize the landscape. I don't know where it is exactly, but looking at those homes, yes, those are homes of the Southwest. These duplexes right next to each other. It's a lot like Philadelphia. People who are in Philadelphia, your homes. I noticed Philly looks a lot like Montreal. They have the same kinds of homes, like right next to each other, duplexes in a very gray areas. But look at the car. What I want you to focus on. The car is supposed to be black, is it not? Yeah, sometimes the witnesses, they can be wrong, you know? Let's keep it real. Many times witnesses have said, I saw a man and he was black. And the guy wasn't black at the end. And they didn't lie. They just literally saw him from far. The brain can play tricks on you, or he was blonde, but he wasn't blonde. I ask you, he said black. Black SUV, right, Fred? C'est ça. Une auto noire. Donc, c'est quoi? Est-ce que ça, c'est une auto noire? Is this a black vehicle, or did the paint get off? Did they burn this black vehicle, and is it how it works, guys? I don't know. If you burn a black vehicle, does it end up losing its color like this? Like, maybe the car was painted black, but underneath it was not black, and then when you burn it, the coat of paint comes off, and finally you see it white? Is that why this vehicle is white, guys? I'll just ask you because I have no freaking clue. So let's look. Au début d'après-midi, we know that this vehicle was found in 11:30. The murderer of Gregory Woolley was still at large. But a luxury vehicle of a brand called Range Rover, we all know this, the same model as the one used by the suspects. There you go. So police got many descriptions. We didn't see that in the video. The girl only told us black SUV, but apparently there was enough witnesses that we know, and the witnesses told the police for sure that it was a Range Rover. Because look at how the journalist points it out. He says they found a luxury vehicle, a Range Rover, the same model as the one used by the suspects, found in Point St. Charles, burned. Crazy, huh? See what we got here. Oh, that's it. Okay, let me just refresh this. See if they added something for us, guys. We kept refreshing this. Look, you see, what did I tell you? Each time I refresh this, I get something extra. So here's a photo of him with his baby. Oh, look at this, my friends. According to our informations, Woolley had just left the CLSC of Boulevard du Saint-Minaire. So there we have it. Feedback, Fred. You're a crafty one, bro. You're very crafty. You figured this out. You did 1 + 1 = 2. So remember, Gregory Woolley just had a kid, apparently. Here's the baby in his arms, right there. Inside of his luxury home, as you see there. And the CLSC, it's not really a hospital, but it's a health establishment. It's where you go for minor things, right? It's like the local health, it's like a local health center. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Yes, there's nurses there, but you can almost never receive help. You go there at 8, at a certain time only. They can only see a certain number of patients. It's hell on earth, guys. All of it's hell on earth in Quebec or Canada to get help. Maybe not all of Canada, but I can tell you in Quebec, it's hell on earth. I don't even want to go to the doctor, and I got a bunch of problems. I don't even want to go through all that suffering to just see a doctor and then be brushed aside. But according to information, he had just left the CLSC. You see? Confirmed. He was in the company of his wife and his baby of 4 days when the shooters arrived. They showed him no mercy. He got killed. Yes, Arturo, yes, there's a war. If this is not a war, what is, right? If this is not a war, what is? There you go. Well, maybe there's no war if his people don't reply, all right? If they just hit you and then it ends there, then the war ended, or there was never any war. Perhaps. We're about to find out, my friends. We're about to find out. C'est ça. Regarde ça. Donc, ils ont même pas attendu qu'il soit pas avec sa femme et son bébé. Tu vois? You see that? They didn't even wait for his wife and child, bro. They did it in front. Well, when you bully people, maybe it comes back to you like that, guys. I don't know. I don't wish that on him. That's for damn sure. Don't wish that at all. Poor baby right there. The baby's going to grow up and he's going to see this picture and say, a few days before I was on his lap and I watched his last moments. Yeah. They knew where he was, they say. Feedback thinks. So far, feedback, Fred, you were right on spot about everything. So, you have a good track record, You're like me. I've been throwing dices around and then we've been landing on them one after the other. You noticed that on the show. Feedback Fred has that kind of string of luck too, bro. So, we can probably, he might be right, man. Let me see if I can get you. Yeah, I guess this is, let's keep going down. Let's see if we got something new here. Did they add? Look, there you go. Let's look at the fire. By the way, if you can help me out, hit the like. Join us, subscribe too. Yes, guys, the SUV is definitely black. The Range Rover is black. So in other words, all that BS I was telling you, making it up, I was right. So the paint comes off and you see underneath it was white, but it was a coat of paint black on top of it, something like that. So yeah, so we know from now on, we know that when you burn a vehicle, there's a chance that the color comes off and it's white underneath, according to the previous picture. Look, you see this and this. So we learned something today. What are the chances it's not the vehicle linked to the murder? Look how fast it's going now, man. So they did pour accelerants, huh? They didn't just throw a match there. They poured accelerants. The thing's going faster and faster. Crazy. And you know what? Despite all these fires, it's very hard to become a firefighter. Well, I mean, you can go to school. I have a friend. You can go to school, there's no jobs. Yep, no jobs, guys. It's so difficult to get a job as a firefighter. Despite there's always a fire. Let's see, okay, let's refresh, guys. See if we can get to something new. We're going to be getting some updates today, man. So, did they add here?
Alors, je rappelle cette nouvelle.
I'm just going to try to saw this one. Let's go back to La Presse. What did they add? Le temps match entre le crime et le feu. C'est ça. The times match, guys. It's like literally like within an hour it's just perfect, you know? It's just perfect. The color of the vehicle, the trajectory, how long it took to get there. We add an extra 15 minutes just for fun. They were probably looking for parking. And you know what I'm saying? Let's go in. I want to see if they added anything here. This time it's no. These guys are. Oh well, look. They added something at 1:38. So they added his face. I don't think we saw his face before. I just want to see if we got something else. So here's some timelines for this year they give us. Leonardo Rizzuto had attempt on his life in mid-March. Then in May, we saw Claudia Iacono, the woman who was killed. She had nothing to do with it. They wanted to send a message, a very bad message, to the husband, apparently, Antoni Gallo, who was the son of, I forgot the other guy's name, Moreno Gallo, there you go, who the Rizzuto, who was a good friend of Vito Rizzuto, his age bracket. But they felt that he did not give enough warnings, that a rival faction of the mob was about to do a hit. Probably because maybe they believed that he was okay with it. Because remember, there was a coup in the mob in Montreal in the 70s, or was it 80s? I cannot remember. You guys know me and my old memory, man. There was a coup, and Moreno Gallo, and he was probably more at the time. He was more aligned with the Calabrians, I think. And when the Rizzutos took over, the Sicilians, they took over the leadership. They offed a lot of those members, right? So the old friends of Gallo. And Gallo had no choice but to befriend the Rizzutos after that. But maybe when it was time for those guys to get some revenge, and Gallo knew about it, he probably said, you know what? This is justice. I don't know. I'm just saying maybe. And there you go. So we know that happened in May. After that, not far later, me and you together, we hung out. We did the 5th of June. Francesco Del Balzo, who had rallied to the Hells Angels, was assassinated for his participation against Leonardo Rizzuto, they believe. And according to our informations, the alliance between the Sicilians of the Mafia and the bikers existed for at least 10 years. Is today evaporated. So our source, who is Eric Thibault and his friends, remember, those guys are very trustable. They even had, they kept telling us, I have a source in the Mafia. He's deep. Yeah, I have a source. And people doubted him. People said, oh no, these guys make things up. Remember, journalists make things up. And then he came out and he gave you all the middle finger, me too. And he said, my insider was Andrea Scopa. Remember that? So now these guys are telling us, this is a quote, according to our information, the alliance between the Sicilian clan of the Mafia and the bikers, which existed for 10 years, is today evaporated. Let's see what's going on. And then Arturo Miranda says, maybe Martin Robert was salty about Woolley being more tight with Solicito and Leo and gave them the green light, but I doubt it. You never know. That could be possible. But Woolley was the Hells Angels liked him. I don't know, because the thing is they loved Woolley, man. It's like he's like an old face for them. He's the old trusted source. Woolley's attached to the hip. He's not by himself. He was attached. He had to attach himself to it. But you're right. Maybe what you're trying to say, more Arturo, and I misunderstand. But what my Arturo's really said, and I didn't understand correctly, I'm sorry, is he suddenly kind of distantiated himself a little bit more from the Hells Angels. And now he's almost to the hip with the mob. And then they realized that, you know what, this guy's not really with us that much either. So could they have allowed this to happen? I don't know. This is pure conjecture. We never know. But thank you for offering that. because you could be proven true later on, man. So it's good that we put it out there. Then we won't be able to say, oh man, we didn't know. We knew, we talked about it. Then he says, this investigations, this one, oh no, wait, we're not done. We're actually, where were we in the timeline? Because we're reading the timeline of events this year, guys. Now, les groupes, these groups, would have done their business separately, each one from their own side, while waiting to see what would happen for the investigations of the police for this year because of all that action. These investigations that apparently started last year after the major revelations of ex-hitman for this crime syndicate, but mainly for Gregory Woolley. Frédéric Silva. There we have it. We finally have an interesting hypothesis. But not really a hypothesis. Just a clue. Remember last year, the snitch, it was someone working for Gregory Woolley. He was directly under the responsibility of Gregory Woolley. Usually, when you have someone directly under you, attached to your hip, well, if that person screws up and he becomes a liability, if you accepted him from the beginning and everyone relied on you, maybe things will turn on you. Maybe the fact that Frédéric Silva was so badly chosen, so badly vouched for by Gregory Woolley, by his mere presence in all those pictures, as you can see, and being his direct boss, his direct superior, giving him these assignments, maybe, just maybe, things turned kind of sour after that. Maybe. Could this possibly be linked to that directly, mainly, or no, not really, but it was a factor in this decision? That's if we assume that Gregory was offed by people on his own side. But there's also the people from the other side, who Gregory's been offing or having people off for so long, bullying them. Instead of letting people do their own thing and leaving them alone, they don't bother you, you don't bother them. It was a bully move. He was always a bully. He was always coming in and saying, you join us. If you don't, well, you better think twice. And then he would be the one sending people messages. Well, guess what? This past year, since last year, we saw the timeline. They sent a Molotov at his place, where his wife is, by the way. And he has another son, so we know he has two sons now, or at least two children. And we know that they even shot twice at a home they thought was Gregory Woolley's, but it was the next door neighbors. Two next door neighbors, different ones. We figured that out today. And today they finally got him. May he rest in peace. We're not happy about this, but they got him while he was clearly, we have the evidence here. Crafty one even brought it up. He brought it up. He estimated this, and he was right. He went to a healthcare establishment, not a hospital, but a mini one, a smaller type of healthcare establishment, sort of like a doctor's type of office, but it's a public one. And he went there probably for a checkup. His wife was there, and his infant was there. Imagine if they would have hit the infant by accident. That was really a bad thing to do, guys. Whoever you are, man. Now he says that this investigation could bring up tens of murders and attempted murders committed on the part of organized crime. So now they're going to investigate Gregory Woolley. We're going to get some pretty freaking big answers soon. They're tapping you guys, whoever you are watching this right now. They're tapping your every move, all your conversations you're going to have. They're listening in on it. And I'm surprised by this. They're saying that he was an ex-member of Master B. Okay, now they changed it. Let me just double check. Yeah, there was a mistake earlier. They said Master B, Allegiance Blue. I don't think so. B is for Bloods, right? So I thought that was a mistake. But it's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to see if they added anything. They didn't add anything else. Let's just refresh this. Because every time we refresh so far, we had something new. Remember? This is going to be the biggest news of the day, man. Or of the week. But the biggest news of the underworld, this is the one. Now, let's go back to... Let's double check here. Refresh. We're good. We'll go back to Journal de Montréal. That's where we got most of everything today. And I refreshed it. Yeah, there you go. See, note, they added this to the title. Gregory Woolley assassinated under the eyes of his wife and his newborn baby, who was like 4 days old, they say. Oof, yeah. Oh, wait, I missed some message, guys. Y'all forget he tried to kill Reynald Desjardins a couple of years ago. Bro, that was the shit that put his life in jeopardy. Good point. Good point. They were discussing, he was basically offering his services to have that done, right? And if I was a mob boss like Reynald Desjardins, and I found out that you were planning to off me, pardon my language, if I was a mob boss like Reynald Desjardins worth millions of dollars, say, you cockroach, you thought for a moment you're going to off me? Now we're just going to both peacefully coexist like that? That's a really good one. That's a really good one. And I would be, no, I'm the godfather here. No. We're not the same level, you and I. I'm not going to just coexist with you. You can forget about it sooner or later. That's possible. Now he says, Sylvain Fillion's son, the kid was going to hear stories when he grows up. Oof. Doozy Bird, what's up, my friend? Rip the OG. Indeed. Rest in peace, man. We're not celebrating anything over here, man. The only thing we wish is that people stop killing each other and stop bullying each other. And if they don't like each other or they're not in the same cash pipeline, leave each other alone. That's got to be pretty easy. And if you can't beat the price of your competitor, that's on you. That's on you. If you don't want to offer a better price, you want to milk everyone, that's on you. But maybe you shouldn't be offing someone else because he's just not dealing with you. Just that. It's a free country, you should be able to do what you want. But I'm not encouraging anyone to break any laws. I'm just encouraging people not to kill each other and offering another perspective. Thanks for the video, my friend. Love them. Thank you, Doozy Bird. Thank you so much, man. You're welcome. Welcome with us. Let's see if they add anything. We're going to go here. We're going to write Gregory Woolley and see what Crime Kingpin. This is CTV, Montréal Gazette, CBC. I'm just trying to see if I can get you guys the best one. So you click on the best one. Journal du Québec. Let's just double check here. No, it's the same. Journal du Québec, Journal de Montréal, owned by the same. They just use a different banner. So TVA Nouvelle, yes. We're bound to get some fresh details right now, my bros. They use the same picture. No surprise there. I just want to double check if they got their own footage, why not? We don't want to miss it. No, they have
Ici à Saint-Jean.
They're sharing the same footage. Guys, it's like every website looks exactly the same. Am I crazy? Journal de Montréal, TVA is the exact same thing? Let's double check something here. He already has an obituary? Wait a sec. It's another Gregory Woolley. Here you go, guys. Gregory Woolley. May you rest in peace. It's not the same. Okay. You guys want to see how quickly they look at these guys, man? These guys you guys are monsters. Someone said someone's mission in life is to be the first. You know when you see comments on YouTube, sometimes someone goes, a video's posted, he goes, first. You know, there's always that guy. Well, someone's not joking. He already updated the Wikipedia, man. You crazy guys, man. Crazy. But you are awesome. Thank you, Luc Faubert. C'est moi qui te remercie, mon frère. C'est moi, mon tabarnak. Thank you. Merci. C'est un plaisir. Let's see. OK. On va aller sur... On va faire... Moi, I try to search the French ones, guys, because I want to get it from the source. Montreal Gazette, they add some good details sometimes, but yeah, look how short it is. Yeah, it's just going to do a... On January 31st, 2001, his head was badly injured during a fight with another inmate inside the weight room of the federal penitentiary. The man suspected of nearly killing Woolley was never charged. But Woolley's parole officer, aware of the biker's reputation, would later call the attack a suicidal act on the part of the other inmate. So I don't think that would be a Hells Angels. If this was a suicidal act, maybe it was more from the Rock Machine Alliance. We are dead in the biker war, right? I don't think that another Hells Angels underling would dare do that. It would be counterproductive for his own health. Yeah, see, when I tell you guys that he's been part of it for a long time, it's not just conjecture. This is one part I didn't want to mention because I want to have specifics, and since it's here, it's perfect. When Gregory was 24 years old, there's footage of him entering the metro. This is my proof. This is my personal proof. I don't need to see more. One of his hits that he did himself, you could see him entering the metro, and then he takes off his hat and he throws it in a garbage. His DNA, see what he says here, was later found on a hat in a garbage can in the metro Bonaventure. See? You know, he was in the beginning, he was actually doing them himself. And look, Woolley was charged with another murder that occurred during the Biker War. On December 20th, 1996, a drug dealer named Pierre Thibaume Beauchamp was shot while driving in his car to meet with someone in downtown Montreal on the corners of St. Catherine and Metcalfe. You know, such a small area, that downtown. How many people related to the mob died here, around there? Even as much as 70, 80 years ago, back in the old classic Montreal Mafia history. 1997, Woolley and few other rockers were charged with the murder of Jean-Marc Casey, a member of the Rock Machine who was killed that year during the Biker War. The gunman turned informant alleged that other rockers were part of the conspiracy to kill Casey. Woolley and the rockers underwent a trial, but they were acquitted. We know that. I'm trying to look for a Point St. Charles. You see, I shouldn't have told you. I wanted to surprise you. But I'm trying to look for a Point St. Charles murder, just to prove my point earlier, if they can link him. So we don't have it here. I'm just trying to look for it for you guys, because since he's going into his history, there's one specifically I'm looking for. I can't remember. So if I see it, we'll know. No, they didn't. They didn't go through all his list of what he's suspected. It's a really not mentioned often, the murders in Point St. Charles or in the Southwest. They don't talk about those often. That's where they should be focusing, in my opinion. There's some crazy history because that's the bastion of the Rock Machine. They wanted to take it over. And they finally obviously did, because this man right here that you see here, he, after all his friends died, he changed his mind. He wanted to continue selling drugs. That's more important. And all his friends' memories who spilled blood, forget them. He joined the Hells Angels. So what was that all for? Should have just joined them from the beginning? No, if you were the leader. Should have told them to switch sides. Avoid this bloodshed. Let me keep going. What do you have here? We have another picture. It's funny, they only take pictures from this side. I guess they can't go on the other. He had a home in Saint-Luc sector of Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. 40 kilometers from Montreal, southeast, they say, southeast. We're going to have to click here, see. Well, I was expecting way more news to come up. Où sont les nouvelles français? Je m'en fous des nouvelles en anglais pour de vrai. C'est ce que je veux, c'est ceux qui sont en français will get better. Because these guys, like, what are they really doing? They're copying from a French newspaper. This is the old stuff. Look at this. We got some details that might help us a little bit. I'm trying to shrink this so you can see the entire page. Because I see his name popped up here. It's house sales. Point Piper, Pierre, what? Let me just zoom in. Taz Wiggin. Okay, it's not the same, is it? So there's another Greg Woolley. It's not him. Okay, no. Definitely not him. Let's see what they give us. Look. Sorry, guys. Oh, the comments. I loved it. We're going to read the comments. There you have it. A nice crack in the middle just to confirm that the roads are full of potholes. Originally from Haiti, Woolley was the leader of the Syndicates, a gang that worked for the Hells Angels in the 90s. Yes, we know that. Very strange that the detective mentions this. I don't know, guys. Guys, is there a mistake here? Am I misunderstanding something? According to former Montreal detective Philippe Paul, who has close knowledge of organized crime in the city, Woolley went on to become the first black, full-fledged Hells Angels member? Was he? I don't think he was a Hells Angels. Full-fledged Hells Angels. That means that he received his Hells Angels patch? I don't know, man. And then he says, that same guy who made this statement, I actually arrested him myself in the early 2000s. In his car, we found guns and bulletproof vests, said Paul. While he was in the cell, I received a phone call at my offices saying to let him go, or I would probably not survive the day. I had protection to go to court. We went to court and he was found guilty and did time. So the Montreal police detective received a phone call at his home with threats while Woolley was in jail waiting for his trial. Crazy. Woolley had served time for drug trafficking but was released on parole in November 2021. According to police sources, Woolley had been warned by authorities that there was a price on his head. He had recently had a lot of warnings, shootings in and around his house, a fire in his house, the garage. And unfortunately for him today, he was killed, said Paul. I do believe he was one of the main targets for criminal activities to go down this year in Montreal. Insane. Now, the comments. Please do not waste time and effort looking for his killers. They know our legal system and they will just muck it up. He's right. Gangster on gangster crime really saves taxpayer time and money. Let's see if they get something substantial for us. Whether it be the attempted murder of Leonardo Rizzuto, the murder of Claudia Iacono, or all of the murders in the previous Rizzuto mob wars, the violence in Montreal organized crime seems out of control for a long time. But that begs the question, where is all this violence coming from? And how is organized crime not impacted much? After America destroyed utterly 5 families, the American mob, the 6th family in Montreal, would seem to have remained a powerhouse. What else would explain all this violence? Someone's correcting something, maybe. Pete Lacroche, from the article. Originally from Haiti, Woolley was a leader of the... Oh, I'm sorry, guys. You can't even see everything. My bad, man. Woolley was the leader of the Syndicates, a street gang formed in the Hells Angels. Look what he says. He was also a member of the Rockers Motorcycle Gang, a subsidiary. Yeah, we know this. So in other words, he was a horrible human being and likely responsible directly or indirectly for the suffering of countless others. Not a nice fellow, to say the least. That's true. Did he deserve to be shot? He says maybe not, but I'd wager his illicit dealings are what led to his death. You know, I don't wish anyone death at all. But did he deserve to be shot? You ask that to lots of people, they will say, yes, he did, unfortunately. Hey, Maxime the Youth. What's up, buddy? Qu'est-ce qui se passe, man? All right. Maxime joins us at 2:30 on Friday, huh? You guys are all in a good mood. It's Friday. You get some mob action, mob news. Of course, we're not happy. None of us are happy about this. But... It's a fitting end of the year, guys. We're in what? We're November 17th, man. Crazy way to end the year. Now, I will turn your attention. I don't know his name. I wish it came to me right now. It's not over. It's not over by a long shot. There is a replacement for Woolley. Specifically, two men, Haitian-Canadian men, who he trained himself, who he taught himself, and they were there, at least one of them, I know for a fact, was there since the biker days. The name doesn't come because I rarely mention them, but now we're going to have to start looking at those names because they will appear in the news sooner or later. Sooner or later, Unless we get the same scenario as when when Woolley, now he's gone, had friends probably off the leaders of the blood gangs. And they killed Chénier, and a few hours before or after, they killed Lamartine Sévère Paul. Now, whoever got Woolley, if history proves to repeat itself, those two other guys I just mentioned are hiding right now, and they're peeing their pants. Or they're about to enter their home tonight and their garage, and someone's waiting there. No joke. I don't know. I'm just saying based off of history. You know? I'm not young anymore, you know. I don't stay young like Maxime la jeunesse. Maxime the youth. He's forever young. Let's see what else we have, my friends. Live by the sword. Budding rap star, are so many gunned down? No. Yeah, look, someone else here says, I was hoping someone could explain why he's being referred as a HA member rather than an affiliate. His skin tone pretty much precludes him from getting a patch. Indeed. Well, in Quebec, of course. You could go to BC, we saw some admitted, so there's that. Let's keep going. I'm trying to find if anyone can add some details for us, man. I read the report. No sympathy for the devil and his lot. Remember, guys, the branch of this organization at the very top, they call themselves the Hells Angels. That's not a coincidence. They work for Satan. Openly. Even if they don't want to admit it to themselves, you're doing the deeds of your father, the devil. Let's go to our one last check. Hey, is this, did we do CTV? Here's more live footage. Just like Big Chénier Dupuis. In a commercial center, in the parking lot. Exactly the same way. Yeah. The pig on the porch of the church. Oh, sorry, my friend. Excuse-moi, mon gars. J'ai manqué ton... J'essaie de trouver l'affaire que tu me parles. I'm trying to look at the thing that the youth is telling me. Is there a... Do you see a church here? Am I missing something? He mentioned a church, yeah. Sorry, Max. I'm trying to look at... Maybe you're talking about a church here. Also, sometimes people watch the video, but it's not live when they're watching. So maybe that's the reason he's talking about something else. But we go to our original page, which we updated a few times, and we got stuff, new stuff. I'm going to double check. Okay, 10 minutes ago, he updated something. Right? We see here. So what did he update? Okay. He's talking about the funeral. Merci beaucoup. Talking about the funeral. My bad, man. It's linking. Maxime was linked with Arturo's comment. The guy who was with Martin at the Balzo funeral. The black dude, right? I don't remember his name, but I gave him a nickname. Because his French name was Rochebrun. Brown Rock. That's how I remember it. You're probably talking about Brown Rock. The guy with the laugh, you know? The laughter in his face. Like, you know what I'm talking about, man. Eerie place to smile at the funeral of your buddy who hired you, probably. But guys, we had an update at 2:26. What was this update? We haven't been on this article for more than 10 minutes. If you guys can spot it, if any of you looking at my screen right now can note what was added. And then we have Leonardo Rizzuto, you know. I have that other picture, you know, I found it funny, you know. He has such a smug face. Looks at you like, hey, I'm better than you. Not here, but the other picture. Kevin Rochebrun. Yes, that's the guy. Yes, with the dreads, man. with the dreads. You know, here's a good advice, my friend, whoever watching this right now. Maybe in a mob war or something like that, maybe none of you should go to no one's funeral. Maybe you should just be sending flowers through the mail or something, and they'll never see your face. And maybe you should all be driving a Toyota Corolla. But then what's the point when you die? You didn't get to enjoy your stuff because it's a short time, it seems. Does anyone note what was added? Can you guys see anything? I'm trying to spot what was added here. Hey, no, that's something else. I'm trying to see. Yeah, guys, I don't know. It says update, but we did La Presse. Let's do Journal de... All right, we'll click here. Woolley had received warnings, many warnings. Guys, keep an eye out for another burning car and another death in the following hours. Unless it happened during the morning hours while you and me were sleeping. The chances are they're not... Guys, they're gonna not just assassinate him. They're gonna try to do him and the next threat, usually. Unless they think they're all a bunch of bums. But they're not. Guaranteed they're not. There's two other guys, they're not just another bunch of bums. They're very dangerous. Just like him. And I imagine Woolley has already given them the mantle somehow. Or did Woolley really think he was invincible? Did he add something here?
Et le collègue Félix Séguin est...
There you go, guys. See, it pays, man. It pays, my friend, when you're persistent. It pays. Okay, I'll translate for you guys. Don't worry.
Avec nous pour nous en dire davantage sur Gregory Woolley. Félix, bon, il s'agit d'une des figures les plus importantes du crime organisé à Montréal.
Felix, so this what happened is about one of the most important members in organized crime in Montreal.
Oui, et de l'avis de plusieurs experts en la matière, des policiers qui sont très près là, des escouades en crime organisé, de lutte contre le crime organisé.
Now he says, I'm going to tell you the opinion of many experts, of investigators, the experts, what they're saying right now about this event.
Gregory Woolley était vu comme l'un des individus qui avait le plus d'ascendance sur le monde criminel à Montréal. Il y a des raisons passées et il y a des raisons actuelles.
So it seems to say that according to them, he would be one of the figures right now who would have been climbing in the underworld in importance. One of the ones who were climbing the fastest.
Pour ça, allons-y avec les raisons antérieures. Gregory
And now he's going to give the reasons for them believing this.
Woolley est né à Port-au-Prince, la capitale d'Haïti. Et
he was born in Port-au-Prince.
Après son immigration au Canada, lors de son adolescence.
So now what we learned is Gregory Woolley was not born here. He didn't grow up here as a child. Something in his upbringing was messed up. It had to be. Something made him Gregory Woolley. He didn't arrive here as a baby or a child. He arrived here as an adolescent.
Il s'est tenu toujours très, très près des gangs de rue.
And he always held himself, right from the beginning, very, very close to street gangs. You got to ask yourself why that happens to a person.
Si près qu'il a fondé une alliance avec d'autres criminels qui s'appelait The Syndicate.
Mm-hmm. And so he was so involved in gangs that he seems to apply that he formed a sort of an alliance right from the get-go when he was young, in his younger days, probably in his early 20s or pre-18s. It has to be somewhere between 18s to like 23, 24. But they're saying that, remember, what was he doing these last few years? Since 2012, I've been drilling in your head based on the news. He had bullied others to join his street gang syndicate, where he was going to lead, right? And those who didn't join died. That wasn't the first time, though. Now, I don't know about deaths. Well, yeah, it had to not be the first time. Thing is, he's saying that in his younger days, before the last 10, that was not new. That was not something that he pioneered all of a sudden in 2012. He already did that in his late teenage years. Something called the syndicates.
Les syndicates, c'était en quelque sorte une organisation qui regroupait plusieurs gangs de rue. Et il en...
There you have it. The syndicates was an organization, which he started, that regrouped many other street gangs from different neighborhoods.
était l'un des co-chefs. Ça lui a...
He was not the leader, it says, necessarily by himself. He was a leader. He was a co-leader with others, I imagine from other street gang leaders. Now, that's where a lot of understanding comes from. It makes a lot more sense. Remember, we talked about he's from Saint-Michel. Am I right? We talked about that. Who was other from Saint-Michel who wear a blue rag or blue flag, who represented that? Who else? And who was as old as him? Who's gone? Joseph Ducarme. You see what is? Do you see the link here with him? They formed a gang, all of them together. They must have known each other. They were not necessarily like hanging out with each other every day type of thing, like what you would think a gang is. But it's the syndicates. The leaders came together, and each one had their own crews. And they worked in, it seems like they worked together. That's as much as I can make up from what he says.
Conférer beaucoup de pouvoir. À cette époque-là, si on se situe dans le temps, on est au milieu des années 90, fin des années 90. Gregory Woolley se lie également d'amitié avec Maurice Boucher.
And following that, by the end of the mid-90s, let's say, just to be safe, truthfully, it was early 90s. He met Boucher somehow. Probably, guess he's not bringing the cane himself here, right? Not at all. So he needed all those people. So he had to attach himself to the hip. That's his MO from the very beginning. The supply, to make himself rich. And who do you think helped supply him and his syndicate? Maurice Boucher. Let me just read. Maxime was saying, Haiti is a cane stash, right? And another one is Dominican Republic. And the HA, what's the HA for, guys? Oh, you mean Hells Angels? I'm not sure I think he means Hells Angels, but he was talking about countries. They did similar to what the Italians do, join forces and distribute. Exactly.
Maurice Boucher va confier à Gregory Woolley un rôle dans un club-école des Hells Angels. Selon la charte des Hells Angels, les Afro-Américains ne sont pas admis dans le club officiel. Par contre, dans les clubs-écoles, il n'y a...
So, according to what is well known, the Hells Angels will not, in Quebec, won't allow a black to join them. It's different over here. But their underling biker schools, they would. Well, they probably wouldn't ever. But Maurice Boucher was different, you see?
Pas de telle charte, si bien que Gregory Woolley faisait partie de du club que l'on appelait les Rockers de Montréal. Et c'est les Rockers de Montréal qui étaient en charge d'exécuter les bases œuvres pour le chapitre nomade des Hells Angels. Quand on dit bases œuvres, on parle de meurtre.
So the underling gang, the Rockers, they were the ones doing the job that the Hells Angels didn't want to do. Because, it's not really worth it doing murders and things like this. You saw the mob. They don't even really want to sell cane if they have a choice. If they really have a choice, they'd like to get the books. We heard that from Sal Scopa if you watched the Scopa Files. The same manner, the Hells Angels, they would rather not even have anything to do like too closely with the streets. They would rather have others do those kinds of things. And that's where he comes in. And their underling clubs came in.
Extorsion, de pose de bombes et d'objets incendiaires. Alors, donc, Gregory Woolley va continuer à graviter autour de ce monde-là, mais va se rapprocher aussi du crime organisé traditionnel italien, appellation policière, pour ce qui est la mafia, au fond. Tant et si bien qu'il sera vu dans les années 2000 aux funérailles du Hells Angels, Gaëtan Como.
So in the years 2000s, like sort of the things that show that was still around was he was hanging out with Gaëtan Como. which was a Hell's Angels.
Dans l'est de Montréal, dans la Ferrari de Loris Cavalière, qui était à l'époque l'avocat de la mafia. On le décrivait comme ça dans le monde juridique.
So they saw him in the Ferrari of Loris Cavaliere, also, who was a lawyer for Vito Rizzuto.
À Montréal, mais qui finalement a été arrêté des années plus tard, accusé de gangstérisme, a plaidé coupable, n'était pas que l'avocat de la mafia, Loris Cavalière, mais le consigliere de la famille Rizzuto.
You see, so at a certain point, Loris Cavaliere, according to Félix Séguin, who we respect, Loris Cavaliere was a lawyer to Rizzuto's, but he was like a Saul. It's like the show Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul. For those who don't know, he was the lawyer of a drug kingpin in the show, of course. In the real life, in Montreal, Loris Cavaliere, according to Éric Thibault, he became the consigliere of the family because these criminals, they were under the eye of the police. This is me adding it. They couldn't exactly meet in open air with each other. You get arrested. There's conditions and things like that, but they still have an organization to run, right? So what he would do is they would speak or send messages through the lawyer. So the lawyer became a central figure in running those operations. It ended by 2014-15 when the police came knocking. They put bugs inside of that room. Remember? People saying. I'm not sure if Rizzuto know the street. They have good soldiers to replace Woolley. Know the street. I'm not sure what you mean, but yeah. Of course. Why would you go in that car? Crazy, man. You see them together. They were wearing the same like colored shirts and all that, going to funerals together and all that, man. Maxime makes a good point.
En remplacement de l'ancien qui, lui, a été enlevé, porté disparu. Donc...
Wait, what did he just say?
De l'ancien qui, lui, mais qui finalement a été arrêté des années plus tard, accusé de gangstérisme, a plaidé coupable, n'était pas que l'avocat de la mafia, Loris Cavalière, mais le consigliere de la famille Rizzuto, en remplacement de l'ancien qui, lui, a été enlevé, porté disparu.
Remember, we talked about this before, the original consigliere of the Rizzuto clan. Frick, the name's not coming to my head right now. Wish I could come. You see, my memory's bad. You know what I'm talking about. When I made the show, I talked about it. He was driving in Laval, and they found his Mercedes-Benz, I think it was. Mercedes-Benz van or something, with the windows down, the doors open, in the middle of the street. The police, it's like an eerie scene. Imagine you see a car at a stop sign with the doors completely open. There's no blood. There's nothing. It's clean. But no one's there. He just vanished. They never found the consigliere of the Montreal mob, of the Rizzuto clan, ever again. He completely vanished. You can do the math in your head. They probably did that. They probably tortured him physically. They did some nasty things to that man, probably, in order to find out where the book was. And by a twist of events, probably by need, they replaced him. They needed another consigliere. Well, just like the Godfather movies, I guess. They picked the lawyer.
Donc, on chemine dans le temps. Gregory Woolley va se rapprocher énormément au cours des dernières années de Leonardo.
Ciao, hey, Personal Development School. Bien sûr, bro. Bien sûr, t'en fais pas. Prends soin de toi, mon frère. Take good care, bro. Don't you worry about it, man. I know you at work. You're coming back. You got stuff to do, man. Don't you ever feel guilty, man. You're always welcome. Whatever you want, bro.
Rizzuto. Leonardo Rizzuto, qui lui-même a été victime d'une tentative de meurtre en mars dernier sur l'autoroute 440.
So he's just talking about Leonardo Rizzuto's attempted hit on the Highway 440. Remember, I'm adding this. He left Rome Cafe, which is a popular coffee shop. His father used to go there. They all go there. They all used to meet there. And police had pictures of them. I think police entered that establishment, guaranteed. Yet, they'll still go, because you know what? None of them trust each other. None of them have the quiet peace of mind of saying, oh, no. Imagine that if police could never take a photo of them meeting each other outside. That would help a lot, wouldn't it? But they always meet in public. Why? They're afraid. They're afraid of inviting each other to each other's house, probably. They can't do it. They can't take that chance. So they have no choice. They have all these coffee shops and everything, and police know they're going to meet there. It's not rocket science, and the police always taking pictures of them.
Laval. Les deux étaient de très bons amis. Donc, a été victime d'une tentative de... On chemine dans le temps. Gregory Woolley va se rapprocher énormément au cours des dernières années de Leonardo Rizzuto.
There we go. Now we have some information. In the recent years, he's saying that Gregory Woolley would try to attach himself to the hip closer and closer with Leonardo Rizzuto, and that would imply that Leonardo Rizzuto is not some innocent kid.
Leonardo Rizzuto, qui lui-même a été victime d'une tentative de meurtre en mars dernier sur l'autoroute.
Who was himself the victim of an attempted murder, Leonardo Rizzuto.
440 à Laval. Les deux étaient de très bons amis.
Did you know what he just said? He just said Gregory Woolley and Leonardo Rizzuto were not friends, guys. Just friends. They were very, very good friends. Close friends is what Felix Seguin says. The guy who had Andrea Scopa as his personal confidant. And no one believed him, and people made fun and said, I remember people would come on my channel and they would tell me, says, oh, you're a fool. These journalists, they'll write books, they'll say anything. Then, last year he pulled out that freaking video, and we translated for you, and he was with Andrea Scopa.
Donc, ce qui nous amène à maintenant, Gregory Woolley avait reçu des avertissements au cours des derniers mois quant à sa vie. Sa maison avait été prise pour cible une fois par des coups de feu, l'autre par un objet incendiaire. Gregory Woolley se savait menacé. Ça, c'était très, très clair. Maintenant, la raison pour lesquelles...
Let me just double check what he said here.
L'autre par un objet incendiaire. Gregory Woolley se savait menacé. Ça, c'était très, très clair.
So Gregory Woolley was threatened.
Maintenant, la raison pour lesquelles, ou les raisons pour lesquelles il se sentait menacé, il était menacé, c'est ça qui devient le plus important aujourd'hui. On travaille, Marianne, présentement avec mon collègue Maxime Delan, entre autres, là, sur la validation de certaines hypothèses. Il y en a quelques-unes qui vont vous surprendre, mais on a déjà en tête là, les raisons pour lesquelles Gregory Woolley, qu'on ait voulu le voir partir de cette façon.
So now he says Felix Seguin, because he has some sources, and he mentions, he kept repeating right now, we. Not yes, but the we in French. We as in us. We have information, we have reasons, and we formed an hypothesis as to why Gregory Woolley was killed. And it seems that he said, I'm not sure, I think he said that it's not so obvious.
Note, en terminant, ce que plusieurs policiers ont noté au cours des dernières années.
What is Sauce's role in all of this? Is he commanding those crimes with Leo? Yeah, what we know is Sauce was sort of doing his internship with Vito Rizzuto. When Vito Rizzuto had cancer and he saw his days coming to an end, what we do know is it was filmed by police. He was by his side following him throughout his days. And he was basically getting an internship as to, you go see this guy, then you go do that. This guy does this. Like, he was passing the mantle to Solicito, kind of, you see? And remember, he didn't raise his son Leo to take the mantle. That was not part of the original plan. I guarantee you that. Common sense says that. He sent him to school and everything. But there's a change of plans, right? His son doesn't want to go to work anymore. He probably can't anymore. He got his license suspended, I bet, or something like that, for getting caught with cane and with criminals. I don't think you can practice law after that. All the benefits of that are gone. But Solicito was the man who remember, he was the son of what's the other guy's name, Rocco Solicito, and all that. So between those two, and Solicito didn't go to school. He was probably involved this entire time through his father and all that. Who do you think has more qualifications to run all this? Logically, it seems like it would be Solicito. So when you ask what is the role in all this, probably the leader. Probably he's the leader. Just by the training he received, by the trust from Vito Rizzuto, and the experience. Probably it's him. And Leo was going to be his best buddy, I bet. They're like two children, sons of godfathers, if you look at it this way. Probably grew up with each other, probably went to family barbecues together, the whole jazz. So, and they both lost their fathers to the same war. Everything lines up perfectly. So it's going to be like they're probably going to be feeding off of each other for their own for their survival, for resources, and just for companionship, for trust. Everyone needs someone to trust, to fall back to. But who has the knowledge? Who has it? Probably it's going to be, or Andy, a bit of experience. It's good. Well, now he has a lot of experience. It would probably been Solicito, logically. Let's keep going. What's up, Jiang Li Xiao? Welcome, bro.
La façon de commettre des meurtres dans le crime organisé a changé, c'est-à-dire que ce fameux respect que l'on évoque.
So now he's saying that the ways of doing business in organized crime in the city has changed.
Quand on parle des hautes sphères du crime organisé, la famille.
Because it's no longer decency seems to be thrown out the window. Remember, we had a woman dying, family members. Look now, even killing Gregory Woolley in front of his child and wife. That's really horrible. But remember, Gregory Woolley himself, he was offering his services from his team to off the brother of Andrea Scopa. Was it Sal Scopa? Who died in front of his children, inside of his son's first communion. Am I wrong, guys? Was it not a first communion? If I'm wrong, correct me. I think it was a first communion inside of was it Delta Hotel, a Sheraton Hotel, or some luxury place? It was a hotel. Inside the reception hall, someone walked in there and shot Sal Scopa right in front of all the family members in a celebration. Right? So, could it be those people? That seems to make a very good hypothesis. Could it be those people from the other side of the old guard or whatever? They said, you know what? This guy, one day he's going to pay the exact same way he did us. He did one of our own with no decency. Because remember, Gregory just got off in front of his baby, 4 months old, and his wife.
L'honneur, tout ça, à tort ou à raison, semble disparaître tranquillement.
So, decency has seemed to be completely out the window recently, he says.
Salvatore Scopa abattu à la fête de graduation de son fils à l'hôtel Sheraton.
Salvatore Scopa, as I told you, he says, who was, now he's talking about a graduation celebration. I'm surprised by this, but he says a graduation celebration inside of a hotel. I've heard it was a first communion. I could be wrong.
Tony Turbo, abattu à la pratique de soccer de son garçon.
Tony Turbo, another mob figure who was offed outside, I believe, in front of kids, at his kids' soccer practice. Come on, man.
C'est vrai.
Et Gregory Woolley, abattu devant son nourrisson de 3 jours et de sa...
Wow. And Gregory Woolley offed in front of his 3-year-old baby and his wife.
Femme.
Et est-ce que, Félix, on a une idée, là, c'est évidemment tout frais, mais des conséquences que ça peut avoir également dans le milieu du crime organisé? Est-ce que ça a le potentiel aussi de mener à des représailles?
So now she's saying, is there, now, because this happened, could this complicate things now? Could there be further reprisals? Could it turn into something bigger?
Que ça fait partie des craintes des policiers?
Bon, il y a différentes hypothèses à ce sujet-là.
There are different hypotheses in regards to this subject.
Peut-être si on pouvait laisser parler le passé et voir s'il a été garant de l'avenir, c'est peut-être la meilleure.
Now he says, well, what if we look at the past and try to rely on that to predict the future?
La meilleure idée pour théoriser.
Yeah, sorry if I said 3 years. Did I say 3 years? No, it's 3 days. 3 days is what he said. Sorry.
Sujet, on croyait que la tentative de meurtre qui a visé Leonardo Rizzuto en mars dernier aurait pu faire l'objet d'une déstabilisation ou engendrer une déstabilisation complète du monde criminel à Montréal.
He didn't explain it too well, but he said he's implying that perhaps this is a chain of events tying originally to when Leonardo Rizzuto was shot on that highway. That what you see today is related to that as a sequence of events, one leading to the next. So they're not like unrelated and it's just two different separate shootings. And no, literally, that if this wouldn't have happened today, if that didn't happen when Leonardo was shot on the highway, that's what he said.
Ce n'est pas ce qui s'est passé dans l'immédiat, mais
now he says he's clarifying, saying, believe me, today's event is not something that's related to an event in the immediate past, like maybe something that happened, like I would assume, this is all generalities, but probably like if something happened this month, I don't know if there was a shooting this month, or just maybe the month before, the immediate past, no. Today's event is not, it doesn't go just that short. It definitely goes further than that, is what he's saying.
Mais c'est pas dit que c'est parce que ça ne s'est pas passé dans l'immédiat après la tentative de meurtre sur Vito Rizzuto que ce n'est pas en train de se passer maintenant, de chose une. Chose deux, on peut être dans une hypothèse tout à fait haute, dans un conflit plus personnel de Gregory.
Now he's saying, but that's one hypothesis. Maybe it's another hypothesis that has nothing to do with what I just mentioned. It's completely different. This hypothesis would be it's in the immediate life of Gregory Woolley. That's always a possibility. Something more personal to Gregory Woolley's life that me and you, we have absolutely no idea. I don't know, like just to give you a lousy example, did Gregory, did he sleep with someone else's wife? No, I'm not saying he did, we don't know. But that's what Félix again is saying. Maybe it's something to do with his personal life immediately. But he's just throwing it out there.
De Gregory Woolley avec d'autres individus, ou Gregory Woolley peut aussi être le gardien de plusieurs secrets que les gens n'aimeraient pas voir publicisés.
Now he's saying, third hypothesis seems to say is maybe they were trying to silence him for some information that they did not want to come out. Now, I think that's a hard sell, the third one. Very hard sell. We have footage of Gregory Woolley being interrogated by police, and I saw the footage, not all of it, it's part of it. He doesn't say a word. He doesn't talk whatsoever, not even like a conversation, not even a no. Just stands there and he's like, he says nothing, just stays like that. And if he would have snitched, he would have snitched something by now. He had like what? He has a long criminal career, man. He's been interrogated by cops since the late 80s. You understand? So that hypothesis of like maybe they were worried he's going to divulge some information, doubt it.
Nouvelle majeure, évidemment. Merci beaucoup, Félix.
And here you have it. I note for those who just joined, look at the motorcycle. What do you see there? Isn't that funny? And you see the graves there. Gloating in the fact that, imagine buying a motorcycle and making sure that, oh yeah, I want this one. Look, it has bullets on it, like as if I'm a survivor. You can hit me, but I won't die. I'm riding this. You see the grave right there. And, darn it. I wanted to show you the picture of the actual car. There's a bullet hole like that. Jiang Li Xiao says, I remember Woolley offed the Bloods leader a few years ago when they refused to click up with the syndicates and dissed biker leaders. Could it be payback? Exactly, man. What I said earlier isn't that hilarious? Not hilarious. I'm lacking the word. Isn't that funny? Maybe it's not funny. You know what I mean? Isn't that suspicious that he was offed? But we know now why. But he was offed the same way he offed the leaders. Well, not he. We think he had something to do with that. The leaders of the Blood got offed where? In the parking lot. The door was open just like that. If I show you the crime scene, let me show you. First off, let me show you that. Okay, I'm going to do it one after. Look. I want to show you, so I want you to see clearly. I don't want anyone to... I want you to have the picture in front of your face. Darn it. I thought I could maybe... Yeah, someone already posted it there. I never read forums. Just to let you know, I never do because I don't want it to influence my brain. I don't want to take someone else's hard work, his research. I never even glance at one. Is this a new page? Sorry about that, guys. No, it's the same page. Okay, you see this?
Et le collègue Félix Séguin est avec nous.
Whoops, sorry. So this is the best we can do. I was looking for another picture.
Félix Séguin est avec nous pour nous en dire davantage.
Look at this, compare the photo. First off, for those who just joined us, they said it was a black vehicle, 1 hour apart, not in the same town. The eerie part, Jiang Li Xiao, the eerie thing about all this, Gregory Woolley, back then, in the biker war, he was dispatched to infiltrate the home of the Rock Machine. They were tight in this neighborhood where you see the car burning. This was their home. The Hells Angels were not welcome there. They were in danger if they just walked by there. This was the home of the rock machines. I find it, and Gregory Woolley, because they were part of the, I guess you call them the baseball team, with the Rockers and all that, he was, in order to climb the ranks, he had to prove himself. So he was orchestrating, and this was proven. It just, they had to throw it out of the court. People died in there because he sent people in there to infiltrate. Because Gregory Woolley, at a certain point, he became a leader in the Rockers, and he would dispatch people. I find it funny, not funny, but you know what I mean. When Gregory got offed, he was offed, you have to know, not inside of Montreal City, in Saint-Jean-sur-Richelieu. The shooters, after they did that, they got inside of probably this vehicle here. You can't tell, but it was black, and it was a Range Rover. Then one of our friends here gave us a tip because he's a smart guy, and he knows the location. He said they must have offed him, got in the car. A witness said, I saw a black SUV. The police say for sure it's a Range Rover, for sure. Now, some of you can look at this and probably say, yes, it's a Range Rover. But then he got on Highway 35 and he drove north. Remember, it's not in Montreal, it's the south of Montreal in another town. And there's a distance of approximately 45 minutes between where this happened and this car right here burnt. You see this? For those who didn't see it? This is Point St. Charles, the bastion, which was the bastion of the Rock Machines and the Irish West End Gang. So he drove, and the distance, it concurs perfectly. The distance between where the shooting happened and this happened here, the car burning, was approximately 30 to 45 minutes. Now, maybe you add traffic, maybe you add the fact that they were looking for a parking spot, and it's still pretty close to downtown, this area. It's not too far from downtown. Probably had a hard time finding parking, and finally he found one. You add another 15 minutes. It concurs. The shooting happened at 10:30, and they found this. By the time they found this, it was 11:30. So it's the facts are fitting together really well. Now, what I wanted to show you. Look at this scene. Car door open. This is not like a small vehicle, right? It's a passenger car, but it's a little bit one of the larger ones. I don't know what you call these. The word is not van, right? I guess you call it SUVs. I guess that's the term. I'm not too sure. The door open. Now look at this. Oh yeah. Also, what is this? It's a parking lot, a commercial parking lot. Now look. Oops, sorry. Dang, man. When you want the pictures, it's the hardest thing to find. Sorry, guys. I'll find it. It's just, I gotta find you the... Right? Why not? Okay, I guess. Literally, there was a picture, and it looked very similar. I can't... Well, you see, first off, look. Sucks. Come on. There you go. Look. Did I just dish this? Isn't that the Lamborghini Urus? That's it, right? I don't know the marks, bros. But yeah, it's a Lamborghini. Yo, I just clicked on it, and instead of opening... Look, okay, maybe if I open in a new tab? Visit, maybe? What do you see here? Big Chenier. Same way, man. Isn't that eerie? That's not him, I think. No, that's not him. Because I really want to show you the picture I have in my mind. If you see it, you're not gonna laugh. You're gonna have a little smile on your face. Look. Damn it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put it like this. Doesn't that look familiar, guys? SUV died right next to it. Look, you could see the police stuff right there on the ground, I'm assuming. Crazy, man. And here's one of the former gangmates of Gregory Woolley, who didn't want to join Gregory Woolley anymore. He was a friend of Chénier, Joseph Ducam. You see that right there? They all end up like that, it seems. And here's Gregory Woolley when he was in jail. This was the part, if you're ever wondering, when did he start ingratiating himself with the mafia? When did that start? You're watching the history in front of your eyes. Exactly this era. This is immediately after the biker war. They were all locked up, Shark QC and all that. And Gregory Woolley befriended, I forgot which one he befriended. I think maybe it was Leonardo Rizzuto or one of them. I think it was Rizzuto. He befriended him in jail. Offered him protection, all that. There he is. And there you have it. Yeah, Ducam got off in front of his family too. Damn. Damn. There you go. There you have it, man. This picture's probably like 20 years old. 20 years ago. He was proud of everything he did. I wonder if he thought he was never going to go. I wonder. Did he think like, man, I'm a magician? Because Joseph Ducam thought, apparently, from the news articles anyways, they say that people close to him thought that he thought he had a voodoo spell cast on him. That he cheated death too many times. And he was untouchable. Despite knowing there was a bounty on his head, he was in his home turf, walking around at night, going to the corner store like nothing. And of course they waited and they got him. And they probably paid someone a handsome amount to give them a phone call. But there you have it, man. Last checkup and then we'll go. I'm just gonna see if they added anything. 15 minutes ago? No, it's iHeart. TVA Nouvelle, peut-être?
Et le collègue Félix Séguin.
No, we did this. Did they update this one?
Félix Séguin est avec nous pour nous en dire davantage sur...
So they're saying that Gregory Woolley collapsed on the ground. And he was given CPR, that's what we heard. And he was transported to the hospital. That was only 300 meters from there, they're saying. And his death was witnessed. His baby and his wife was near him. Yeah, there was witnesses. Trying to double check if we have any more. Yeah, that's it, guys. Oh, look, they busted someone. Trafficking stupefires. 2 suspects were arrested with more than $500,000 of substances. And here we have the Roxborough West Island area. Yep. Who are they? Older men. So 36 and 41. Probably linked to organized crime. They took cane, 2CB, ketamine, and all that stuff. I'm afraid of mentioning this. Yeah. All right, guys. I think we had a big run today. Almost 2 hours on this, man. We had a good run together, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hit the like button to help me out, if you will, if you don't mind. And, yeah, man. Crazy, huh? Crazy how this saga ends, guys. Here's a picture of Gregory Woolley for one last one for people who want to say goodbye for one last time. You can see him. He's old now. He's 51. Probably wearing a luxury watch right there. Socks with Canada on it, I guess. Saying a big farewell Canadian bye-bye. Remember, he was driving a $350,000 SUV, according to one of our friends here. We said it was a Lamborghini. You can see the home. Posh. Squeaky clean. White-colored. You see these stairs right in the middle of the living room. Big like that. So if his car was worth $350,000, you wonder what his home was worth. It says, late bloomer. Wow. I guess, and Doozy Bird says, I guess we'll see in the next couple of days or weeks if anybody gets some paid back for the OG. Exactly. Or nothing happens and it's business as usual. Starve the hate, feed the love. Much love to you all. Have a good one, friend. Don't take that Tucci pink stuff, please. I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. What's a Tucci pink? I got no clue. But yeah, he didn't know, huh? That, or did he know that was it? That was the end of his life coming in. He was going to hold his beautiful baby one last time. Oh, okay. Oh, I got you. He's saying that it's a new substance. I don't know anything about this stuff, man. Yeah? They have funny names, man. They have funny names. Yeah, dude. None of that stuff is good for you, man. None of it is going to help you out in life. None of it, man. Yeah, that's the same one. Crazy. Yeah, I guess it's over, man. This long story, I've done so many episodes, and every time the episodes link back to him. Somewhere did you not notice almost every story that we ever discuss, it always links back to him. All the time it links back to him. Every story. If I talk about the bikers, it comes back to him. I talk about the mafia, it comes back to him. I talk about the street gang syndicates, it comes back to him. Today, that ends. It ends right here, right now. For anyone who thinks he's amazing, he's your idol, you want to be like him, do you really want to be like that? Do you really want to waste your potential? He never even tried anything else. That's all he wanted to do. Is that worth it? Is that the result? He left his children what? This picture. That's what he left them. This picture. And a legacy of death. A legacy of 3 to the chest. You should hear him speak that. You should hear those tapes that were recorded. That's how we do it. That's how we do it tonight. I forgot what he said. It was hard to discern the tapes. Very hard to discern. It was so proud, It was so proud. Like, that's how we do it. Yeah, that's how we do it. 3 to the chest, you know that? That was going to be good, man. It's going to be good. I can do it for you. Yes. I could do it. It's going to... Specialized in murder. In murder, guys. He probably didn't come to Canada by himself. I doubt he was 14-year-old and he landed here in Canada. His parents came here and he didn't have... But that's also what happens. Some of it is not his fault. Some of it is not going to be his fault when you don't have any good examples at all. You have no hope. You have no one to imitate. You have no one to teach you the ropes. Did you notice? No one was there to teach him the ropes of how to do it like everyone else. He didn't have that. What he did, in a way, what he didn't have, he offered to other people. He taught them the ropes of what he did. A lot of youngsters followed him. He was like their god. We'll never know, man. You'll never know the official body count number. Quebec has a horrible track record of solving anything. Not even prosecuting, not even. Canada's a joke. The court system is so cluttered. There's serial killers. There's not many in Canada. And I'm talking about the other kinds of serial killers, not the shooters for organized crime. There's another type. You know those deviant serial killers types. You know what I'm talking about. They never catch them in Quebec. There's bodies of girls disappearing, being found in ditches since the 70s. I think one of the girls was Allure. I forgot her name, Allure. Then there's a pattern there, but they never solved any of them. They just go buried under the rug, man. The cops don't solve nothing. My friend Bad News Brown. Did they ever solve that? Nah. There's a hierarchy of what's important to solve and what you can just swipe under the rug as trash. That's how it kind of works, I think. Well, I base myself on my observations of years watching this. Yeah, if something happens to Trudeau, you bet your dollar they're gonna investigate this. They're gonna go to the bottom of that. But the rest, nah. I would think that solving Bad News' death would be easy. It was in downtown, isolated area. You wouldn't have to scan those cameras for 50 cars passing by an hour. At that time, you'd have maybe one at most. It would be easy. What's up, Bogdan? Thank you. Thank you, man. I had a good time with you, too. Good time with you all. Okay, I guess I'll cut this here, my friends. I don't want to keep you guys forever. Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Have a great day, man. See each other someday. Bye-bye.